something on my lip. I don't know what it was. The process to casting a spell involves 4 steps. The first step is to take your hands, like this, and join them together so that they're crossed like this. And you basically fold them like your fingers like this. That's the first step. I'm not charging yet. Step 2 is the charging, where I bring it up to my forehead like this. Normally at this point you'll see a green glow appearing around me. But now, whenever I'm done charging, I'd step back like this. And then the 4th step and last, you jerk your hand forward like this. So, there's a brush pile here. So I'm going to cast a fire spell on it. You ready to see it? Okay, here it goes. This is the great power of Ulillillia.
This is your room.
Yep.
You sleep on the floor?
Yep, you'll notice that there are 0 beds in here. Although this is not really a bed in a traditional sense, but I consider it my bed. Normally my blankets would be a lot closer to that heater over here. But during the winter, I have a very low resistance against ice element or cold, and a high resistance against fire element or heat. That I need the high defense against it. So, yeah, right now my room is 75, which is kind of on the low end of my comfort zone.
I noticed you don't have any chairs either.
Yeah, I have a problem with chairs too.
Oh, you can't sit in chairs?
Yeah, I've had problems with chairs since 9th grade.
What happened in 9th grade?
Actually, was it 9th? No, I was fine on 9th grade. It's 10th grade. 11th grade. That's when halfway through my 11th grade year is about when I started having problems with chairs, and ever since then I otherwise never sit in them anymore. Car seats are really about as close as I get, as long as toilet seats.
We moved here in August of '84 from Air Force. I was transferred here from Eglin Air Base, Florida, and then just decided to stay here. Retired in '91, so I've been here long enough. Just decided we'd just retire here. Very little crime, nice people, etc., etc. Good hunting and fishing, and a good hot rod club. So we bought this place in just before I retired. We're trying to refurbish it and etc., etc., and make it look better. At least we're out of the floodplain here, so we got lucky there. So.
Well, Nikki was, 18 months when we moved up here to North Dakota? Nina's born in North Dakota.
Nikki was 6 months when we came up here from Florida. Because, he was still just a little bitty guy. Anybody home?
Counter.
You want to see something neat? Here, watch this. I'll make that light hit the tree over there. Watch. Who put that big rock up there? Who was it?
You.
You put it up there, huh?
No, you. I said you.
Yeah,
This
well,
object
all
here.
those
All
rocks,
this object
all
here.
those rocks down there, bud. Put them back in the pile where they belong. He was exposed to make me a rock fence up there in the front there. That's why I cut all that dirt back and all that. He was exposed to be stacking rocks up there so he could make a rock front in the ditch there. Yeah.
Never gonna happen.
Didn't get very far, did it?
Never gonna happen either.
Yeah, well,
Counter.
one of these days you'll see the light. maybe.
Well, he started out normal as like any other kid. Talk, hi, bye-bye, daddy, that kind of thing. My personal opinion, I took him on a plane trip to Minnesota. That's where I'm from. And he wouldn't talk after that. We never could figure out how come he wouldn't talk. So we had to take him to a training thing at the college. And he had to get retrained on how to talk.
How long did that take?
A few years.
Yeah.
Several years to get him going again.
Then they started telling me a bunch of other stuff that could be wrong with Nicky, They kept trying to label him. And that always irked me because it was like, make up your mind what he has. And they couldn't do it. They kept making stuff different every time. Then he got a really good doctor.
Mm-hmm.
This guy, he was, okay, to keep Nicky busy when we would go someplace and stuff, I would always get him to do math. 1 and 1 is what, Nicky? And he'd say 2. And we kept working on it. My mother sent him this really decorative calculator that handheld. And he was having a ball. He could figure out pi and all this stuff. I don't even know how he did that, but he figured this all out. And he was having fun. And we were waiting waiting for a doctor appointment. And we're sitting there doing math in our heads, and that's how he got to do so good at math. Something to keep him busy.
My relationship with math, as far back as I can go, dates back to basically before preschool. I was adding, like, for example, 13 plus 6, which is 19, of course, and I was doing simple stuff like that. I was so far ahead of everyone for my age. When I was in 3rd grade, for example, I was doing 5th grade math out of an actual 5th grade math book. I already knew how to multiply pairs of numbers on paper, of which today I can actually almost do in my head to some extent, because I've got so many shortcuts, it's amazing.
So do you think about the world in terms of numbers?
Oh yes, everything I see has got some numerical value of some sort. From color to sizes, the shape of objects, all that's got, I describe it with numbers. And with that actually comes an advantage. I'm not skilled at art if I don't use numbers. But if I use numbers, one look at Platform Masters and you can see just how skilled I am with art. All thanks to just numbers.
One time I took him to the YMCA, and these kids were picking on him. Nicky's not your average child, okay? And so I don't want to fight with kids. It's dumb. I'm an adult. I said, do you guys know that he knows all about the planets? What? Oh my God, ask him any question you want about planets and this kid will tell you. So here's Nicky and he's like, sure, what do you want to know? And the kids all settled down. They all started behaving normally. And they started asking him, how many moons does this one have? How far away is this one? They became, instead of trying to fight him, they became friends. It was really nice. You just got to learn how to work the program, I guess.
This one's got a questionable. This one bad.
You never had any school friends play these games with you?
Nope. I've never had any school friends playing with me because no one ever comes over. Plus, otherwise, friends are almost foreign to me because I really have no real true friends.
He has always had problems with social skills. He doesn't know how to relate to other people, stuff like that a lot of times. So he's not bashful, but he just don't want to talk to anybody. Unless it's on his level. If you'll sit and listen to everything he does, whether you understand it or not, you're his friend. And when he starts talking about some of that stuff, and that just goes over my head, so I ain't got a clue what he's talking about. And I say, "Yep, that sounds good, bud." That's all I can do.
Did you look at that book of his? I can't even read the first page. I tried. Have you tried? I can't.
No.
He tried it. We take trips to Minnesota, me and him, and he tries to explain it to me, and it's like, whoa, okay, back up, talk to me again.
This is my current revision. Revision 11.
If you can just stop and look in the camera and smile, holding the book, so we can get that. All right, that good? Okay, that's enough. And when was this one released?
I initially released this book on September 23rd, 2009, exact date. And I think it was 10 a.m. even, if you want to get more precise. But much beyond that, I can't get any further precision.
You don't know the minute?
No, I don't know the exact minute.
So how many have you sold altogether?
It's hovering around 600 as of July 2, 2011.
That's pretty good.
Pretty good, actually, in a way.
How many were you expecting when you released it? Did you have any expectations?
I was only expecting like 200, 100 even. I'd have been satisfied with even 50. But the 50 being done in 2 days, I was overstunned. And that was back when my book was $12.95.
So where do you think the bulk of the people that bought this book heard about it from?
Well, my website is very active with activity, and then I've been active on YouTube, so that kind of had an effect. I just put an announcement on my website that my book was available after waiting 8 months for copyright registration, which is a little on the ridiculous side.
I never did get on his website. I don't know what I did wrong, but never did. But I've had other people tell me about it. So the lady that works with me down at the shop, she says she's looked at it and says, yeah, it's pretty big. So I go, okay.
Wow.
I didn't know it was a
I
following.
can't even say the name of it. Isn't it Ulillillia?
Ulillillia or something like that. So,
And I asked Nikki one day, where did you come up with that name? Well, I just made it up.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm very well known on the internet as Ulillillia, and it's pronounced Ulillillia.
Ulillillia?
Ulillillia.
Ulillillia?
Yeah, that's slow motion, so you can make it out better. These are some secrets on the second level of Bugsy 3D. I know this game extremely well, but in order for it to even start, I need to get to the area. While I'm getting there, I'm collecting some junk along the way, bopping a few enemies, hopping these platforms, and I think you got the idea. Platforming games, I'm a master at them. I exploit all kinds of weaknesses, and I'm very skilled at jumping and things like that. Tricky jumps, I'll go after them if I have to.
Why do you think platform games are your favorite?
Actually, I have no idea why. I just like them, apparently. They've disappeared, though, so I've kind of lost a lot of interest.
Yeah.
And that's where Platform Masters comes in. Kind of revives my interest in them. Platform Masters is almost my masterpiece game. It's pretty much my dream game, almost, for as far as platformers go. Of course, limited to 2D, and I would like to see a 3D version of this, but trouble is, I don't know any 3D programming stuff. And I need a modeler that's actually worthy enough. Not overpriced, like $5K, if you know what I mean.
So basically, you're just figuring every single aspect of the game design process out on your own.
Yep, pretty much. Every aspect all on my own. And it's the only way I can otherwise do it. I have not a clue as to how the professionals do it.
Are you proud that you've been able to figure out this much so far on your own?
It's quite amazing that, well, I've actually heard on YouTube that even the professionals have a hard time doing collision detection. And yet, I've never been schooled on that kind of thing, and I've pretty much figured it out all on my own. Of course, there are a few tweaks and stuff here and there that I need to make to kind of improve on it, fix the bugs and other such things. But other than that, it's really good to go. It's pretty solid.
Are you aware of the size of his following on the internet?
Not really.
I asked him one time.
I did too. I asked him, I says, what do you do on this internet all the time? And he says, oh, everybody asks me questions. I didn't really get a clear answer in that, but I've heard from other people, says, yeah, we've checked it out and that. So
It's pretty big.
Is it?
I'd say like people that are devoted to his stuff. I'd say somewhere between 10 and 15,000.
No.
well, I knew he had
Do
a
you
lot
know
of
what
people
we
that
get
read
out
his
of
stuff,
this? We get the stupid phone calls, the scary
Okay.
messages, the did you know that your son's autistic, and they're playing weird music, and it's like, what is this? And they're doing it all hours of the day and night. It's like, what are you, stupid?
It's just an idiots out there.
So we called the cops, and we got a bug on their phone and all this stuff to get them to stop. We got one on there now. It's just dumb. Gets on your nerves, you know what I mean? Why do people have to be so cruel about? I don't know.
I got 15 comments here, and chances are, let's see, what are some good odds? I think about 5% of the comments. No, not that much. It's lower than that. About 3% of the comments or so are otherwise bad ones, and in that case, I just delete them.
You don't let it affect you?
Yeah, and anytime comments have bad words in them, typical swear words like particular bombs in a sense, if you know what I mean, then yeah, those comments are going to be deleted no matter what. Even if it's a question, if it's a friendly remark or a bad remark, it's going to get removed, guaranteed.
His fan base on the internet's actually quite caring about him. They're very, like, if anybody says anything disparaging, they defend him.
Really?
Oh yeah. He's well regarded.
See, I've tried to get on his website before, but I messed up somewhere. I don't know where it was, and he just told me, it says, well, it's okay, I don't want to try that one more time.
This is my website. Have running my website since August of 2001, back when GeoCities was the time.
And how's your website organized?
Well, my website is based on categorization, and I got right now 10 categories, although one of them's gonna probably get dumped pretty soon. But there's tips and tricks, then there's the main features involving me, such as my mind game, the color system, and my frequently referenced compatibility motive system. And then there's also my dream journal, of which is probably going to end up being a separate category in and of itself. And my history, and my blog, and all that on there. This is my logo as they made it. It does need a redesign in a way, but it's really complex to do. Takes a long time to load simply because the file sizes have been on the big side. Gotta thank the stars for that.
How long does it usually take to update your website?
That depends on how long the last update was. The longer the update, the longer the update. The longer the update... No. The longer the duration since the last update, the longer the update takes to actually accomplish.
We asked him to mow the ditch. He used to mow the ditch and like that, no problem, okay? The older he got, the more excuses he made up. Noise is too loud. We got him earmuffs, things, What do you call those things?
Yeah.
Then, what was the last excuse? I can't remember.
Just plain flat don't want to do it.
Not anymore.
So
But he did it before. He knows how to do it. He just, no.
I tried to get him to drive the lawn tractor back there, see if he'd do that. I said, Bud, you can go back here and race the lawn tractor across the yard, see how fast you can go. Nope.
No.
Not interested even a little bit.
But he makes funny excuses. I mean, they are so funny.
Yeah,
It's a character.
he's him, and that's all there is to it. So
Okay, got that out of the way.
Is that your facial hair?
No, it's beard, mustache, or whatever. I don't know what it is. But it's annoying.
You frequently cut your own hair like that?
Pretty much, yeah. Except for this main stuff here. Mom gets mad over it if I did it on my own. Otherwise, I'd do it on my own. I don't care what I look like.
You don't see yourself anyways, right?
Yeah. Plus, I don't care what I look like anyway. It's a very lovable sister.
I have a sudden urge to braid your hair. No. No. Oh, Cody.
Give a sister love.
Originally born Christina Lynn Smith, and I figured it was too popular of a name. Everybody, like 10 million people have the name, so I changed it to Kaikilia Leo Lynn to be more stand out. I don't want to be in with the in crowd. Dragon Diaries Ascension is volume 1 of a 7-book series, and it's basically the story of a young girl named Xylena who is raised in the care of the temple because she was orphaned and she has no memory of her past. Dark things begin to happen throughout the planet that don't go unnoticed by her, and she ends up forced from her home into a world she knew little about at the moment, and then slowly she begins to remember who she is before she lost her memory while questing for these 12 dragons that she was left by her mother, who is the original dragon keeper. Well, I think the most strange thing that he has with him is the stairs and the mirrors. So it's occasionally kind of embarrassing when you have to take him out somewhere and you have to go up a flight of stairs and you see him doing his thing to get up the stairs, and then there's mirrors and he has to duck around and do some things. It is kind of embarrassing, but at the same time, I understand it. Before we got the internet at home, we would go to the city library to go online, and he used to walk up to ladies and go, "Pretty lady," and they would just freak out, and they could tell something wasn't quite right there. But it did scare some younger girls, and I'd have to go, "It's okay, he's okay." Ew.
Got an eye right there.
Really? I thought I had 2 of them.
Yeah, there's another eye right there. I'm so impressed. What?
You're weird.
You need love.
Nope.
Yes.
My arm's gonna fall off again. How many times I gotta reattach it?
Lovable sister.
Nope.
Lovable sister. Yes. Lovable.
Nope.
Lovable.
Nope. That's 3 arms.
Huh? How did they get you? Ready for this one?
No. No! You're sick and twisted, you know that? You have to live with him. Did you
Yeah, this is a finger. A pointer finger.
Really? I thought it was just a finger. Poking finger.
Counter.
Poking finger.
Counter. You super lovable sister. Hyper lovable?
No.
Incredible hyper lovable?
No.
Incredible love?
No.
Oh wait, that's mom. Extreme love?
Nope. No, not again.
You are a love puzzle.
So I know he made quite a bit of money from his book, but other than that, if he doesn't have a job, if you don't mind me asking, where does he get his
SSI?
SSI.
Oh, and that's for
I'm handicapped, for lack of a better term, but it's So because he doesn't have the social graces to work or something or another like that.
So does that mean he has been diagnosed officially with something?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Big time. So yeah, he's what was it? Well, autism, something or no, I can't remember what the heck it was.
OCD.
OCD, that's it. Obsessive compulsive disorder, the autism. There's something else. I can't think of what the heck it was, but because of every establishment, no matter where you go to, whatever business, they got bathrooms with mirrors. They got all of this, and it's stuff that he can't get around. They got stairs, et cetera, et cetera. So
Ever since 7th grade, I've had troubles with stairs. Normally, what one would normally do is they would take one foot, put it on here, put the next foot, put it on here, then take the foot that was here up onto here. That's what normally you would do. Trouble is, that's not what I do. What I do instead, however, is I go into this corner here like this. This is about 1 meter in height or so, roughly. And I put this leg way up here like this. And pull myself up. That's basically how I go up. Now, to go down, I just get a little close to the edge like this, bend down, and jump. And that's basically it. Now, for bigger stairs, much higher steps and the such where I can't possibly jump, I use guardrails like this. But boy, does that get exhausting.
We had one teacher teaching him to go upstairs because it was in an outdoor building and he had to go upstairs, and he wasn't doing it fast enough. Now you've been around him and you know how he does with stairs. She did that to him. She forced him to go upstairs and he wouldn't go. She called me up, said, "Kathy, come and get him." I go there and he said, "What's the matter?" "He's not going upstairs." "Well, what did you do to make him not go upstairs?" "Well, I made him go upstairs." You don't make Nikki do something. You have to talk him into it. And like black and white tiles, he has problems with that because of a teacher. Teachers screw him up something fierce.
blue water,
Green grass.
he had trouble with things at certain stages, anything. He couldn't walk on grass because it was green. Couldn't go around like swimming pools or anything like that because of blue water. It's just a paint on the pool, but still it was blue water. He couldn't do anything with it.
What was your fear of red carpets?
Lava. I thought they were actually lava, thanks to Metroid.
All what things did you think were lava?
Ketchup and mustard bottles. Metroid again is the cause of that. Anything that was also sunlight, being in an area that was lit by the sun and as fully intense, couldn't touch anything like that because, I thought it was lava. It's all because of Metroid.
Haven't been able to talk him out of the mirror thing though. So. If there's mirrors there, he'll go like at Walmart or wherever, or Menards or wherever store we go to. If there's a mirror there, he will walk clear around the store to avoid going in front of that mirror. So, and I asked him when he was smaller, littler, younger, whatever you want to call it, says, "What's wrong with the mirror?" Because he used to look in the mirror all the time, comb his hair and everything else, and there's enemies in there. So what enemies? So this is something he got in his head somehow or another. I don't know how, but ever since then he won't look in the mirror. So it's hard to get around.
I'm telling you, it's irritating.
It can be, yes.
We took him to a Mall of America, and wouldn't you know it, that a mirror thing going on there. Oh my God, that was horrible. Yeah, but he liked going there. He just.
And people don't understand when they see him get down on his hands and knees and crawl under something to avoid a mirror.
I just, you get to the point you just ignore him.
How long have you not been able to look in the mirrors?
That's going on 23 years now, I think. Huge number in that case. 700 million seconds.
So what happens when you when you just catch a small glimpse of your reflection, what happens?
That I don't know.
It's never happened?
I quickly get out of the way as far as I'm aware.
Oh, okay.
I take immediate evasive action. And then some immediate evasive. When I'm trying to go inside of a building like any other normal way, and just the entrance has got this one rounded shaped mirror, and what is that word? Convex mirror, you know? You remember those? Well, if a store's got one of those in all directions and right at the entrance, there's no way I can get into that building without either having to find an alternate exit or not even enter the building at all. Now, if this was the edge of the mirror, this was otherwise not directly in front of it, but this area was the part. If I was like standing right here and I put my arm over, this I could not do. But even though I can't see what's going on, you know, I still won't be able to. That's what it is.
Oh, I see. So you can stand by a mirror, but you can't put any part of your body in front of it.
Yeah, no part of it at all. Unless, of course, there's a lot of distance and a really, really big, thick wall or some barrier. It's got to be like 3 feet thick or something, or bigger. Let's say there was a fire right near that door. What am I to do but either bust this thing to get to the door, or I'm going to have to waste time, risking my life even, rotating this stupid thing. Yeah, that's why it's a problem. I need to get rid of this, or have an open space to that door. It's a safety hazard. I've warned Mom about it many times, but she ignores my warnings, so she's paying the consequences big time.
What are the consequences?
Annoyances.
Because you have to rotate them?
No, but like, for example, she wants something held up, but she can't get there simply because, well, she can't do it on her own. She needs someone to help. I'm available, just trouble is, mirror's in the way, I can't get there. So she's just stuck having to get someone else to do it, and she gets annoyed over it. She gets that again and again and again, despite my many warnings not to get more mirrors. She does it anyway, she pays the penalty.
One of his teachers, his guidance counselor kind of person in school, took him to a pool and showed him the water is clear and that the wall was blue, and then it didn't bother him anymore. They explained it to him. They were going to do it with mirrors because I guess there's a place somewhere that guy makes mirrors, and Nikki could go watch him make a mirror. Then he wouldn't be so mirror-phobic is what I call it. I don't know what it is, but teachers really mess him up. Because if you force him to do something, he's never going to do it again.
He mentions that a lot of his fears came from he would play a game and he'd feel like he's in the game, and then it would translate into real life. How long has he been playing games?
Oh, since
5, 7.
something like there, about 7, I guess.
Because we had one of those early Nintendo games.
Yeah. Or Atari.
Atari,
that's what it was, yeah. He was doing that, but then he couldn't beat the game, and he'd cry and get upset about it. And I said, Nicky, it's just a game. It's all right. And then all of a sudden, he started beating the game. So, and he was winning, and then it was okay, and then there was no stopping him from there. So
he always has to win. I don't get that one. He always has to win. But he does. I mean, the way he does it, he always does anyway. So he's kind of awesome in that. He's got a lot of good heart to him. He's very caring, and that's awesome. Kids should be like that.
But do you think humans may learn spells someday?
Well, in my book, there's hints of it. In the year 3796, yeah, there's battle arenas in there with actual spell casting.
But you don't know any spells?
No, I don't.
What would be the first spell you'd teach yourself if you could?
If I could learn any spell I want, it would either be Light Cure or some basic status effect spell that protective in a way, like Defense Up, I would have to say.
What would be the reason for choosing those?
Well, if you can go around, like, visit a hospital, for example, cast Light Cure on someone, get some green numbers popping out. Really be nice in a way. That way, medical costs won't be anywhere near as high or as outrageous as they are. Of course, it'd be limited use here and there, but good for emergencies, at least if the one is still alive. Then, of course, for defense up, like, for example, cops going in fighting crooks and the such, give them a defense boost and they can resist it more easily. Still, you might want to have your bulletproof vest and stuff.
So it'd basically be because you want to help and protect people?
Yes, defensive stuff.
So, if you could, you'd protect people. You consider yourself a good person.
Yeah, I'm not a blank.
Oh, you consider yourself a good human.
Yes.
Because I forgot, you don't like that word, do you?
Yeah. There's also another one that I also don't like.
And can you give us a hint?
Yeah. When there's two or more of those things.
Oh, can I say it?
Yeah, you can definitely say it.
People?
Bullseye.
You don't like that word either?
No, that one's even worse though. I give that a 3.
You don't like that word at all?
No, that one's much worse.
I remember one year he was in high school, 9th grade, and they wanted him to do something. I can't remember what it was. And they called me up and said, come and get your son. The rule is, if Nicky doesn't behave, call me, I'll come and get him. They called me and says, you got to come and get him. I go get him. He's laying on the floor in his room. Not a classroom, but a room.
Timeout room.
No, not a timeout. I don't know. It's where the special needs kids meet, okay? And he's laying on the floor. He's so tired he can't keep his eyes open. He wanted to go to sleep. And the teacher wanted him to go to class. I said, well, if he's too tired to stay awake to go to class, let him sleep. No, he can't sleep in school. What's the matter with you? I took him home. He went to sleep. He was fine. But he doesn't, if he wants to do something, he's going to do it, I don't know.
Well, basically, the compatibility motive system actually originated in 1997 or 1999. I don't remember exactly which year. Compatibility is the strength of one's likingness towards something. Motive is the strength of one's willpower for doing something.
And how do your rating systems work?
Basically, how the rating system works is double the motive, 4 times the sustainability. And compatibility is the strongest effector toward the motive. An effector is just an attribute that affects motive or compatibility, either one. All scales basically have a starting point or baseline and a scale offset. Like take the Fahrenheit scale. 32, Z that. Take the Celsius scale, where 0 degrees Celsius is the freezing point of water. The offset would be 100 degrees Celsius, which is based on the boiling point of pure water at normal atmospheric pressure. That's basically how that is. The compatibility motive system has something very similar. 1 is your neutral point, and it's actually a logarithmic scale, so it'd actually be 10 to the 0 in a sense, if you will. Well, when I don't like something, it's negative. If I like something, it's positive. And usually there's a 20% margin of error.
He budgets himself. He takes care of his own money. He cooks his own food. He does all the stuff. Of course, his if there's anything I could change with him right now, it would be to get him to eat better. Because what he does eat is...
Not too long ago, I was involved with pretzels. And the time before that was chips, and probably there's more crackers or something. It just keeps constantly changing.
Is pizza the only thing you eat?
Almost always. That's what it's been recently, anyway. Yeah, I've probably got like 2 weeks worth right here, but this is just for starters. I ate nothing but pizza, and lots of pizza. Now, one thing you might have noticed, they're all cheese. I've lost all interest with meat. Since January 2004, I've lost all interest in meat. These ones are not too bad, although lesser liked slightly. One perfect? I wouldn't say perfect. By the laws of physics, you can't even be perfect. Then of course there's these really big ones. Only one of these alone is more than enough to fill me for the whole day pretty much. So eat in the morning and I'm good to go for quite a long time actually. Of course there's also this DiGiorno pizza for one or something that I really especially love, but there's one big problem with them. They're very hard to find because they're rarely in stock. This is the best tasting pizza of them all. Of course, DiGiorno does do extremely well with that. Just the one problem about these is, well, I have to get them with the and breadsticks variety. So whenever I want to decide to eat, there's two factors that determine what I decide to eat. First, there's motive. That's pretty obvious. I go around figuring out what I want, and it just happens to be that I want one of these and one of this. Both of these combined.
He used to eat a lot of different things.
Oh, yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the doctor told him, this one doctor, pain in the butt. Anyway, he said, I'm going to give you this medicine, Nikki, and it's going to make you eat nothing but pizza. Okay, now what does he eat? People don't understand when you say something to him, he takes it and conforms it to him. Can't do that to that type of child.
You get it all unwrapped like this. Make sure my 4 is nearby. And watch the speed too while I'm at it. Pick this up, put it on these paper towels, and then I gather up all the cheese that's on the outside here. Ooh. Sometimes this does happen, but it doesn't matter too much. This particular variety uses 222, but some go for 258, and most of the others go for 99. You know, kind of depends. So while I'm waiting for this, either check the TV and out there, or just do something else. Look around, see what's going on outside, and things like that. And usually when it gets to about 50 seconds remaining on this or so, I keep a very close eye on it, so I'll make sure it doesn't go over the edge. Because if it does, it ends up screwing up the microwave tray, and that causes some problems too, so keep a very close eye on it. The third phase of the process is degreasing it. This, although I'm not entirely certain, cuts back on the fat. Now, this is a clean paper towel, okay? This is a very clean paper towel. Now, this is what degreasing came up. See this darker colored area here that looks kind of wet? That is supposedly some of the fat that I just soaked up. Fat is 9 calories per gram, roughly. And carbohydrates are 4 and protein are 4. But look how much this all comes up. This is a lot of grease. This is why I degrease, and this is why I'm actually otherwise at a pretty healthy weight overall, despite the fact I eat almost nothing but pizza. In this case, it doesn't matter if the sauce gets onto the paper towel. That's what the paper towel is for. Okay. Then this, look how much grease I got out of here. One thing that I would really like to do, send this into a lab and just see how much fat I'm actually soaking up. That would be really neat to know. Compare that against this Pizza's Nutrition Facts and just see how effective this process really is. Seems to work for me, but because after all I've been doing this for a good decade or so by now. So yeah, it does have its effects. Okay, that's just one paper towel. Now I always do a second one. And of course I do get grease or stuff on my fingers, so that's what this paper towel is for. I just wipe it on there. Yeah, I may be a little crazy on the paper towels, but With this method, it's incredibly useful. Napkins also work, but chances are the cheese is going to stick to it. Cheap paper towels, the cheese is also going to stick to it. Bounty and Brawny do especially well with repelling that.
How long does it usually take to eat a pizza of this size?
It normally takes about, I'd say, 30 minutes or so to eat a pizza of about this size, and a good chunk of it comes from degreasing. If this is any hint, I've been going at this for probably almost 5 minutes now, and I'm still barely even ate anything. Then, of course, there's the preparation, cook time, and all that. Add it all up, and 2 pizzas easily takes about an hour. If not still more yet, throwing in mind drifts and waiting for ad sessions.
Why is 22 your unlucky number?
I just seem to have bad luck when there's a lot of those numbers around.
Can you give me an example?
Not really that I can think of right now. It just seems unlucky.
Do you not like the number 2 at all?
It's borderline. I like powers of 2. After all, 64, 65, 536. 2097, 152. That's the highest I memorized up to. That's step 21.
So do you try to avoid 22s?
Do
you try to avoid the number 22?
As much as I can.
What about the 22nd date of each month? Are those always bad days?
Usually. They're not all bad, but cause sometimes they do end up with decent days. And what do you know, those vicious carnivorous things have gone berserk. They're so exciting, aren't they? They're so fuzzy. So vicious. So carnivorous.